All right, on to the new one. Presence. A family becomes convinced that they are not alone after moving into their new homes in the suburbs. Director is Steven Soderbergh, also known for Unsane. That was one we all liked.
Yep.
Writer is David Koepp, also known for Jurassic Park and Death Becomes Her.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, those are good ones. The film was shot in just 3 weeks, nearly entirely within one house, and without any close-ups. Which makes sense the way that it was shot. Yeah. The average film contains hundreds, if not thousands, of the average film contains hundreds, if not thousands, of hard cuts. This film contains only 33 hard cuts, and they are very hard, but that kind of works. We're just fading to black again. Okay. All right, Lance, what'd you think about Presence?
Oh man, I really wanted to like this movie because Soderbergh did such a great job with Unsane, and I thought, all right, let's see him do horror again. You know, we've seen the Magic Mike, we've seen the Logan Lucky, you know, we've seen his other Oceans 17, 18, 19, 20, 27, and all that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Another horror movie. This is going to be great. It's going to be edge of your seat. The fucking video camera going through a goddamn house for fucking 90 minutes of the movie. And then all this family drama. I don't know, man. The guys, this wasn't for me. I really went in with high expectations, and I thought, okay, yeah, this is cool. He's gonna do like an artsy, you know, type. I don't know. I was expecting more of an artsy type angle, like a Soderbergh action, you know, where something's always going on, but he puts more of like a spin to it. But to me, this was just like super dull, and to all the characters were not hateable to me, but just not likable. Didn't care for the dad, didn't care for the relationship with the mom and the son. It super creeped me out. Didn't care for Lucy Liu's acting in this one. Didn't care for, you know, the little scenes where you've got the lady at the very beginning that's wanting to sell the house, so she's prepping everything. To me, it didn't flesh the story out super well. There were some very irritating characters, in my opinion. I'm not going to be giving this the 8 like Pedro did. I don't want to say too much because there's a bit of a twist. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know
if it's maybe more of a reveal than a twist. But yeah.
Makes sense. A lot of people are going to love this movie, though. So this is going to be a divisive one. This could be this year's Night Swim, Brian.
Interesting. Brian, what do you think?
I understand what Lance is saying. I did have a problem with portions of the movie, especially the beginning. I felt like the setup for what was to come took a little long to get there.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool idea to come from the point of view of the ghost. I don't know how I feel about the acting, because at times it felt like they were just reading lines. But then it made me think...
Was that intentional?
That's what I was wondering, because it made me think of that M. Night Shyamalan movie. What was the one where they were on the... Old.
Yeah.
And I remember watching
and that was by design.
Yeah, I remember watching a behind-the-scenes thing about it. He said he kind of had them read lines like they were doing a stage play. So I was wondering maybe that's what was going on here. I kind of agree with you, Lance. I didn't like some of the characters. Some of them I did feel for. I will warn people, there are some subject matters they get into during this movie that might trigger some people. So
that's funny you should say that, because AJ is watching Blink Twice in the other room right now.
Oh, did you warn her?
Oh yeah, well they have a trigger warning at the beginning of the movie. Have you seen that one yet, Philip?
Yeah, that's right.
No.
That they sure do warn you before the movie
comes
on. But when it actually got to the, I guess how you would say, the meat of the story, I kind of started enjoying it more. There is a character in there that gets his comeuppance in an unfortunate way because it
Yeah.
happens to another character, and I just kind of like how the story started unfolding. So I guess you could say I like the second half of the movie more than I like the first half, because
Yeah, I can see that.
if it didn't get going, like I said, I probably would have totally tapped out of this movie. And
Yeah, I can see that.
But I do understand what you're saying, Lance, about the characters, because I think the son is probably the least likable fucking character in this movie. And you say Lucy Liu, the fucking dad was weird to me. I don't know
Grabbing
how.
that cigarette, saying, "Since when do you smoke? Give me that fucking cigarette." And then he sucks the whole cigarette down. It's like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah,
I hate
both
the dad.
closet smokers.
I mean, there was times
It's a
when
weird
he
scene.
he seemed like a good father. It's just there was times in the movie I'm just like, a good pop in the mouth will probably fix something.
Yeah,
because I
he
don't
let him get way far.
I don't know. I'm not saying anything about anybody else how they run their household, but my son is not gonna fucking talk to me that way.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
1,000,000%.
But
Like, you know why those kids talk like that? Because you fucking let them.
yeah,
There is that. There is that.
because there was a scene where it's a bunch of dramatic shit happens and words are said back and forth, and then somebody walks off and he looks at the wife and he was like, "Go after her." I was like, "No, you go, you deal with it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah.
I'm
There was a few scenes, especially in the beginning. I came around to him a little more towards the end of the movie, but especially in the beginning where he was letting his kids get away with an awful lot of just disrespect in the house.
Yeah,
Shenanigans.
I definitely agree with you, Phil. There was, in the beginning, he was letting a little too much go, but
Yeah.
the scenes with his daughter, I really like
Yeah.
their relationship and how he was with her, recognizing the things she was going to. And he was, I don't know what to deal with. I kind of wish that was more fleshed out, because I didn't understand what the mother, why she was so standoffish in the relationship and not willing to step in and do anything.
Yeah, they just gave clues of the backstory, right?
And then there was some
story.
sort of situation they were into.
Yeah, financial.
That he kept alluding to.
Shady.
Yeah, and that never got brought up. I thought that was going to be a big reveal.
Right.
But it just kind of was a thing.
I think I'm kind of okay that they did that. Well, I will get a little more into it in spoilers, but yeah, Lucy Liu was definitely not the most likable character in this movie.
No.
And neither was her son. Although we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
I actually really enjoy. It's not a horror movie.
I figured you did.
No.
Yeah. Like coming in.
It's a supernatural drama.
Yeah, it is 100%. It's a family drama movie, and then it's got like this fun supernatural. You're seeing everything through the ghost perspective while you're watching it, and the whole time that I'm watching the movie, I can't help but think, who is this ghost? Why? Because it doesn't talk at all. You're just seeing things through the camera's perspective, right? And you're thinking the whole time, who is this ghost? Why are they there? What is the motivation? Where's the resolution here? And it does tie it together pretty well in the end, I think. I don't know if I would call it a twist, although you could. I think it's kind of more of a reveal. But then after the reveal, it made me think back on the rest of the movie and why some things happened. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the hard, I like that they did a lot of one take shots in this movie, but like the hard cuts were weird.
Like it felt like we were going to commercial or something.
Yeah. It It was like a little too hard of a cut. Like, I don't know if you could have done something a little different there to make it make more sense, since you're seeing things through the perspective of the ghost, to at least maybe fade off into the ether and then come back somewhere else or something. I don't know, but I don't know
guess.
that those hard cuts worked very well.
It was a choice, right? It was a choice.
But it was, I think, an interesting and unique creative movie that made me think at the end of it, and I enjoyed that.
All
All
right.
right. So we'll do some scores and then we'll get to spoilers. Lance, what do you think?
We got the spectrum tonight. This is a
think
3
so.
out of 10. Yeah, 3 out of 10. It's not trash. It may be on a fringe of a bottom list, just because all that going through the house with the camera. Oh man. But yeah, I can see where Philip's coming from too. So for me, 3 on 10.
All right, Brian.
Something in me wants to give this movie a 7, but I think I'm more comfortable with giving it a 6.5. I liked it more than the parts I didn't like are outweighed by the parts I do like. I think the acting that I had a problem with, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was by choice the way they were acting.
See, and I didn't even really get that when I was watching it.
I think most of it, I got it from was the son.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was probably the weakest actor.
Yeah, that's probably.
But I noticed.
I guess, yeah.
I got Wikipedia pulled up right here. You can't even click on his name, so I don't even know if he's even ever done anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he looked like he was a new kid.
But there was some stuff I really did enjoy, like I said earlier, the stuff with the father and the daughter, their interactions, their conversations. I really liked. It really gave me an insight on their relationship. But then there was a lack of insight on the stuff with Lucy Liu's character. Why was she the way she was, and kind of took me out with some characters, but other things brought me kind of back in. And then the whole reveal or twist, I don't know what we're going to call it, but I like that.
Yeah.
So
well,
I guess I'm basically saying I like the movie a little bit more than I didn't like it.
Cool.
I'm almost kind of okay that they didn't go into detail with the Lucy Liu part.
Little mystery there, huh?
Yeah, it just added. It sort of gave you a vague reason why there's tension.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get a scene at the very end that's an emotional scene, including her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a stark difference to what she was in the beginning. So I guess you could say that there maybe was levels to her character that I'm just now realizing.
Or layers, like ogres, like onions.
Like perfect. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna go with Pedro on this one, man. I think I'm gonna give it an 8.
All right, cool.
I had a good time.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
As a family drama, they had the daughter and the son. That's also what I have. Mine are not quite that old yet, but we're almost there.
You're working on it.
Yeah.
They're working on it.
Yeah. And I can understand why a lot of people thought it was kind of slow and boring, especially if you're coming into it thinking that it's like a legit horror movie, because it's not at all. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even know if this belongs in the horror category.
Yeah, because I put that poll up based on this movie we were doing, the best haunted house movies.
Mm-hmm.
This probably, I would not even put that on that list.
Right, yeah.
This is not up there with Amityville or The Conjuring. This is not that type of haunted house movie.
Yeah. But it is an interesting one that sort of makes you think. It's it's not, so like the others, I would call horror.
That was a big twist, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it also was kind of one that made you think, and they took it. Yeah, and they took a unique perspective to it. They did that here, but it wasn't. There was no really scary parts at all.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there
and
were
see,
that's what
I wanted. I wanted a
yeah.
little bit more fear, I guess. I don't know.
You wanted more with the ghost.
I wanted Casper to show up. God damn it! I didn't get Casper. Where's Casper?
See, and I wish he'd been doing more ghosty shit the whole time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the spoilers. There was a
All
few times, but I think there were too few.
Yeah. All right. Spoilers.
All right. The few times I would like the part where the ghost is. I don't know if it's trying to communicate by saying I'm here or fucking with her. I was confused when it puts all her stuff back.
Yeah.
Oh, like her books and
yeah. Was that like a I'm here, or was that to fuck with your head?
Yeah. I think to fuck with her, it scared her. She got a jolt out of it, right?
I don't know if there's a reason that the ghost was doing it. I tell you the reason the filmmakers did it was because it was the first scene where the ghost did ghost stuff, and it wasn't just a camera flying around the house.
Ghost doing ghost stuff.
I did think the one scene was stupid when it picked up that book and it was panning over and the book was like spinning.
Yeah, that was kind of goofy.
Yeah, well, like, but nobody's seeing this, so.
So that is sort of the problem with this shtick that they had going, is that you would kind of forget that you're looking at it through the eyes of the ghost, because there's so much family stuff going on.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then it's just a camera looking at them. So
yeah, it doesn't really get involved until the end when you get introduced to the brother's friend, I guess. He's trying to be friends with this kid for some reason. Being friends with this kid, I think he mentions, is gonna like up his social status or somehow. I don't know. This kid seemed like a douche.
Yeah. Well, he sort of seemed nice at first.
Yeah, and then you find out a really dark fucking thing he wants to do that he has done before, which is he was responsible for the death of the daughter's friend.
Which I did not see coming.
Yeah, I didn't see coming either.
He kind of a surprise. That was the only part of the movie I enjoyed.
Drug girls up and put saran wrap over their face and have them suffocate, and apparently does stuff to them also. That's why I gave a warning. There's themes of rape and suicide in this movie, and I just wanted people to just be forewarned.
Yeah, but that life's hard. Get a helmet.
Yeah, that twist came up, and I didn't see it coming because he was already. I guess
that was a little shocking, wasn't it?
You could basically say he was already in there because they was already having sex.
Right.
So when after they have sex and he goes and gets some juice and he's putting the drug in her juice, you're just kind of like, what the fuck is going on?
That's what I was thinking, because I was like, didn't you guys just have sex? Like,
I know, right? Why would you need to drug her?
What are you drugging her for?
That was kind of weird.
But
I mean, I see why you gave Ambien to the brother, right? To get him out of the picture.
Sounds like well, maybe he gave him some Ambien, but it sounds like it was fentanyl was what he was spiking everything with.
Yeah.
That's why the other girls died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when all this stuff happens, that's when the ghost gets more hands-on, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because it knocks the juice off the table that had the drugs in it.
Right. Yep.
When the son has that moment I brought up when he's just talking crazy, when the father should have did something, the ghost is the one that steps in and does something, tears up the son's room, which I did like when they went up and saw the room being tore up by itself. That they didn't kind of like, I don't know what I saw. It
was a pretty angry ghost, wasn't it, guys?
It was pretty cut and dry with what they saw, and they didn't really argue with what's really going on.
That's always the stuff that gets me, is like afterwards we're just gonna clean slate our mind of that thing that just happened and then still not believe people about the ghosts. Like, come on. We all saw what happened.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. But I like that scene where he went and tore, because it's the ghost of the son who's just time makes no sense to him anymore. So it's the ghost of him while he's still living. Interesting concept. And I think that the reason that he goes up and tears the shit out of his room is because he's mad at himself for being a dickhead.
Right.
Like while he's telling that story about pranking the girl or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't really get a whole lot of details. Yeah, you don't really get a whole lot of details about that either, except that it sounds like he was being a total dick. And I think that he was in this next life, he was mad at himself for doing that, which is why he went and tore down all his trophies and shit off the wall.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a cool thing that I thought of after the reveal that he was the one that was dead.
Yeah. Which
what a trip.
Always listen to the medium when they come in and warn you, because she didn't even want to walk into the house, and then she came back on her own later to say, warn them about a window, stay away from a window, in which the kid that was killing
a window that does not open or something.
Yeah,
like that,
which
right?
the kid that was killing the girls, drugging them. That's how him and the brother died, because he stops him from hurting his sister, and they fall through the window.
Finally had a heroic moment there at the end, huh?
But like, even to set that shit up, bye kids, we're gonna leave you in this haunted house alone. What the fuck?
That was another weird conversation, because he was like, "Don't have anybody over." And she's like, "I won't." He was like, "I doubt that." So they're gonna have somebody over.
He already knows,
On top of that, you already saw shit flying off the shelves. Are you just gonna dismiss this whole ghost thing as happening?
That's why the acting was so weird. Just everything you just said, Phil, and then the fact that he knows that she's gonna have somebody over. He just makes smart choices. The wrong ones will last.
Yeah. You'll have a 9 months later. You'll get a reminder.
Well,
and then you're not even
their kids are damn near grown, so you got to let them make their own mistakes at some point.
He's not even talking to the asshole son, because she's like, he's in the shower, and she's just, "I'll just let him know what you said."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like, no, I'm leaving my house to my grown kids.
Right.
We're gonna establish some shit.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen if I find out anything. Not just, "Oh, just pass the word on. I'm gonna go to this business conference with your mom and our shady business practices," or whatever's going on.
I'm just like, if I walked into a room in my house and shit was flying off the walls,
I know you wouldn't leave your kids there alone, would you?
I probably wouldn't stay in the house anymore.
No shit, right?
What was it, Poltergeist? And they went and got a motel.
I got some Poltergeist vibes there. Yeah, I also got some. Oh shit! What was the found footage movies with the ghosts where they had the fan that was oscillating fan?
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, there was a little Paranormal Activity feel to this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe. Yeah, and it was very Paranormal Activity-y, but like without the scares.
Yeah.
Yes, no jump scares. Gotcha. It was more subtle, right?
Yeah, and it probably would have been a lot better had they gone the scarier route and had like
maybe not.
Well, yeah, but had some actual terrifying ghost moments where it was just atmosphere, you know? It doesn't have to be jump scares and all this other stuff.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. They probably went this way because what we know now of the ghost, it was never there to hurt anybody.
That's true.
So if it had stuff where it was being malicious or evil or something, that would have not made sense.
Yeah, but even as you're going from the perspective of the ghost, well, I guess it's hard to be scary from the perspective of the ghost.
Yeah. Ooh.
There could have been more situations where the ghost is trying to let them know there's something here.
Yeah.
Instead of doing shit
like
moving the books when nobody's in the room.
Yeah.
How about move the books when there's somebody in the room?
Yeah.
Well, they get to that, like, knocking down parts of a closet, shelves in a closet and shit like that.
Well, they didn't even believe it was I mean, she did, but the boy,
Yeah,
he was
he
like,
was laughing about it.
they didn't secure that shelf wrong,
Shitty
those
drywall,
idiots.
shitty drywall.
They didn't secure the shelf. Bitch, you watched your shit flying across the room. How'd that happen?
Literally.
You take somebody out of their normal paradigm of life bubble, and sometimes it is resisted very harshly.
Yeah, and sometimes I get in these things where, like I said, I wanted more from Lucy Liu. I kind of wanted more from the daughter because they kind of mentions her maybe being gifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. They didn't really go anywhere with that either, right?
And I already said what I said about Lucy Liu's acting, but I felt that scene at the end when she saw her son's reflection in the mirror.
Yeah, that was some grief for sure.
I liked that. That was a breakdown after her being so harsh, and I thought that one worked.
It gave her character more than what we got during the movie. It was like, oh, you actually do care
about her son. I don't know how much she cares about her daughter.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
in that way. All right, is that enough for this one? All right. Well, as always, we want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of The Horror Returns. We would love to hear your feedback and ideas. Pedro's got an idea for March Madness, guys. He wants to discuss it with us. So we'll see if we can set up a messaging with Pedro to see what he's got in mind. Or did we have something picked out for March Madness for this year? Do you guys recall? I don't think so, right?
I have no idea.
I'd never know until we're about to do it.
I think Pedro's got a pretty good idea. So we'll put it in motion. But you can reach us at thehorrorreturns@gmail.com or just go to thehorrorreturns.com. And next week, it's I don't know if this means Al is coming back, but we're doing more Final Destination with Final Destination 3 and The Final Destination, which obviously wasn't, but
no, because there's 5 after.
All right, Brian. Until the horror returns again.
Good night.